like to welcome you here tonight to the forum on debating affirmative action. My name is Robert Olive. I'm Dean of the Undergraduate Division of the College of Letters and Science. The first thing I'd like to do is to thank the co-sponsors of this event. Let me read the names of the various co-sponsors. The Associated Students of the University of California, the ASUC, the Graduate Assembly, African American Students Studies Department, the Arab Student Union, the Asian American Association, the Asian Political Association, the ASUC Academic Affairs Office, the Center for Race and Gender, the College of Letters and Science Undergraduate Division, the Division of Social Sciences, the English Department, Gender and Women's Studies Department, the Local Resistance Network, International Area Studies, Mixed Student Union, Filipino American Alliance, the Filipino Association for Health Careers, GNASH, and the Black Students in Health Association. These are the ones I have here. I thank you very much for your support. Now, the term affirmative action was used, or at least popularized, if I'm not mistaken, during the Kennedy administration in the 1960s. It was a response to the immediately, I guess, the civil rights movement in the 1950s, but of course, in a larger sense, it was a response to several centuries of injustice perpetrated against minorities, especially against African Americans in the United States. At that time, it was referring to a number of programs that gave special, sometimes preferential treatment to minorities in various aspects of American life, in housing, employment, and education. In some regards, affirmative action was always controversial, but it has become increasingly a point of attention during the past 25 to 30 years, and much of the recent focus on affirmative action has centered on higher education, where the Bach decision in 1978 permitted universities to consider race as one factor among others, and attempting to achieve diversity has been challenged and defined at various points. A quarter of a century after the Bach decision, the Supreme Court commented again on this issue in 2003, upholding the University of Michigan's policy on affirmative action in seeking diversity in its student body. As demonstrated by Proposition 209 in California, which was passed a decade ago, and similar ballot initiatives in other states debated on affirmative action in higher education is not likely to go away at any time soon. Tonight, our goal is to further that ongoing debate, and we are doing so by inviting two speakers to address the opposing viewpoints on affirmative action. Now, let me explain before we introduce the speakers how we will proceed. After an introduction of the speakers, each will give a 10-minute opening remark, followed by a 5-minute rebuttal by each, followed by a second rebuttal of 3 minutes. I will then open the floor to participation from the audience. We have 2 microphones set up, one here in the center and one over here on my left, on the far right of the room. And what I'd like to ask you to do is to proceed as follows. Those who are in favor of affirmative action, who have a question, should come to the microphone here in the center of the room, right in front of the stage. And those who oppose affirmative action and want to pose a question should use the microphone on the right side of the room. That's on my left or on the right side of the room. Now, if you're in the middle, or you're uncertain, or you have less down there to alternate questions from different perspectives. If you're in the middle, you don't have a perspective on affirmative action, then you choose either of the 2 microphones. When someone from the audience asks a question, each speaker will address it for 2 minutes apiece, followed by a 1-minute rebuttal period. Then there will be 5-minute closing statements by each of the speakers. So let me introduce to you the real organizers of this debate, who will in turn introduce the speakers. Amaris White is the internal vice president of the Berkeley College Republicans, and Yvette Villarca is chair of the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigration Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary organization, usually.
I would first like to thank Mr. Weaver, Ms. Driver, Dean Holland, and all of you here today in the audience for your presence and support in discussing this controversial issue. Tonight, I am pleased to present you a man who has accomplished and experienced a great deal. Mr. Mason Weaver began his career by serving nearly 4 years in the Navy. Unfortunately, this was cut short when 2,800 pounds of steel and iron fell on him, and the Navy classified him disabled and he was lecturer and author. Mr. Weaver presents ideas on bettering personal, business, and public environments, and is the author of The Capability Plantation, The Road, and The Diamond in the Rough. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Weaver.
Thank you to our speakers and Dean Holland, and also especially to the students in the audience and community members who are here. My name is Yvette Kalarka. I'm chair of the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary, BAM. And thank everyone here for welcoming our national spokesperson, Shanta Driver, who is not only the national spokesperson for BAM, but also the national director for United for Equality and Affirmative Action. She represented over 41 student defendant interveners in the historic University of Michigan Law School case, which on April 1st, 2003, held a hearing at the U.S. Supreme Court. And she was responsible for mobilizing 50,000 students from across the country to march in support of affirmative action and integration, where we were victorious at the U.S. Supreme Court and succeeded in upholding affirmative action. These drivers were a source of inspiration for me and countless other students and young people, and has been absolutely unrelenting in the lessons that she's drawn, where instead of feeling like we have to respond to racism, to sexism, and to bigotry by keeping our heads down and learning how to adapt, she has stood up and taught me and many others that the way you respond to injustice and bigotry is to fight, and to fight to win. So please welcome